speaking of that Western Conference, let's talk about the team in the Bay Area, the Golden State Warriors. My Golden State Warriors, who, it's funny. I guess this is the second to last show we did before I went on this little 3-week break before we came back today. When Jimmy Butler was traded to the Warriors, my take was, okay, I'm not crazy about the contract. We knew that Jimmy, that was the primary reason he wanted out of Miami, is because he did want the extension. The Heat wouldn't give it to him. Whoever would trade for Jimmy would have to give him that extension. The Warriors did. Now he's on an average annual salary. He actually makes more money than Steph Curry. So I was like, I don't know if I love that. But the thing that I said that Jimmy would do, regardless of fit, the number one thing I said Jimmy Butler would do for the Golden State Warriors is he'd make Steph Curry's job easier. Steph literally had a quote after the second game Jimmy Butler played as a Warrior in a win over the Milwaukee Bucks. It's about a month ago at this point. Steph Curry said, and I quote, "Every possession doesn't feel as hard." Yeah, because the guy who's about to be 37 years old in year 16 is not having to carry that offense with that personnel on his back night after night after night. Now he has a guy in Jimmy Butler who can be on the floor when Steph's on the bench, who can distribute, who makes winning plays. With this move, we could show you what the Warriors have been since this trade. They've gone from the definition of mediocrity to the definition of one of the 10 best teams in the NBA comfortably. Offensive rating, they went from 19th to 3rd. Points per game, 19th to 6th. Defensive rating, 10th, which was solid. Now they're 4th. And they went from having, through the first 51 games prior to Jimmy playing his first game, under 500, 16th best record in the league, to now they have the 3rd best record in the NBA in that stretch since Jimmy Butler played his first game as a Warrior at 7-2. Which leads me to saying this. So before the season started in October, I talked about, I do an NBA preview show just like I do an NFL preview show every year, give my predictions, what's going to happen, awards, MVPs, all of that. And most importantly, who meets in the NBA Finals, who wins the Finals. And my prediction before the season is, out of the Eastern Conference, I had the world champion, defending champion, Boston Celtics, still maintain that, although Cleveland is very real. And in the Western Conference, I had the last NBA champion prior to Boston, the Denver Nuggets, who ironically faced yesterday. And listen, Denver didn't have Aaron Gordon. Celtics didn't have Porzingis. So, it wasn't, hopefully, knock on wood, if those two matched up in the finals, not the whole version that we'd see of those two. But Boston looked pretty good yesterday on their home floor against Denver. But I threw in a caveat. I said, and I quote, and I'm a man of, if I'm nothing else, I'm right some days, I'm wrong others, but I'm a man of my word. I said, if the Golden State Warriors add an all-star caliber player next to Steph Curry, they're my pick. The Golden State Warriors are going to win the 2025 NBA championship. Point blank. And that is what I'm picking. I am guaranteeing they will be in the Western Conference Finals. I am guaranteeing it. Because when you look out West right now, from a matchup perspective, there's one team that really does scare me as a Warriors fan. And that's the team that was my pick originally, the Denver Nuggets, out of the Western Conference. Because Draymond Green is the greatest player of all time under 6'8" to play the 5. He can't stop Jokic, because guess what? Guys who are 7 foot tall can't stop Jokic. So there's nothing you can do to stop that. So Denver would scare me. There's a championship experience that they would bring to the table. After that, I gave the Lakers their props. Golden State can absolutely 100% without a shadow of a doubt beat the Lakers in a 7-game series. Steve Kerr, over the course of it's one game. It's one thing to do a regular season, night to night, you're playing a different team. Great as JJ is, Steve's got the experience advantage, and Steve Kerr will do nothing, just like he did in 2022 against Dallas in the conference finals, attack Luka relentlessly on defense. Get Steph in the pick and roll, get Luka on him. In the words of Shaquille O'Neal, that's barbecue chicken. The Warriors can absolutely beat the Lakers in a 7-game series. Okay, see? Okay, if Shea's having an off night, or if the Golden State Warriors sell out to stop Shea, Jalen Williams is a good player. Chet Holmgren, these guys have never done that in a big playoff series. We've never seen them even sniff that. That came to a point in time in the second round against Dallas where it's like, okay, if Shea doesn't have it going, they're cooked. Still a young team, and if they were to win it this year, they'd be the youngest champion since, I think, Bill Walton, the late, great Bill Walton's 77 Blazers. So history's not on the side of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Memphis, really? Really? We're going to rehash that again? the whole Memphis is better than Golden State. There, we real? You sure? In the John Marin era, they've won one playoff series. That's the team we're going to bet on. Houston. Oh, I don't know. A team that Steph has literally owned his entire career. A team that has, we talk about no playoff experience. They have less than OKC. They have less than Memphis. And then after that, you talk about Clippers, Minnesota. Those are not championship contenders. Over the course, you say, well, what about Cleveland and Boston? Well, guess what? They only get to play one of them. Because Cleveland and Boston feels like they're in a collision course, Eastern Conference Finals. I give Boston the advantage. Cleveland can absolutely beat them. Nonetheless, you get Boston in the finals, who imperfect, great team. If to put it mildly, Tatum's excellent. But in late games in the playoffs, I think I saw a stat today that he shoots like 17% from three in clutch time. Yikes. Do you love that match? I mean, be honest, if you're a Celtics fan, are you excited to play the guy who cooked you in the finals 3 years ago? And as a Golden State Warriors fan, as much as Cleveland would scare me from a matchup perspective, you get Cleveland, Golden State in the finals again. Oh. Steph and Draymond in particular are salivating over a Cleveland Golden State finals that does not feature LeBron James. Salivating over that possibility should that come to pass. Because something else that I think people are forgetting about when we talk about the Warriors being the championship discussion, I already showed you the numbers. They're way better defensively, way better offensively, shoot better from the field, all of it. The thing that folks are forgetting about this entire discussion, and I'll play a couple of sound bites from the two most integral parts to the Warriors dynasty that are still there, not named Steph Curry, Draymond Green and Steve Kerr. The one thing I continuously said, going back to last summer, when I was imploring the Warriors to get Steph a co-star because every other superstar in the NBA has one. Get Steph one, you owe it to him. Is it at this stage, 4 rings in, 2 MVPs in, a finals MVP in, now a gold medal in, Steph just wants to play big basketball games. Steph just wants a shot at a title. The reality was that the team prior to the Jimmy Butler trade just was not going to cut it. That was a team that was struggling just to stay in the play-in mix, much less a situation where now the Warriors are at the 5th best odds or tied for the 4th best odds, I think, with the Lakers to win the title. Draymond Green, days after Jimmy Butler played his first game with the Warriors, take a listen, and then we'll play Steve Kerr. But this is Draymond Green.
He looked like he got belief. That's all. That's all it is. Like,
he energized.
Steph, he looked like he got belief. He said to me in Utah after the trade, he looked at me and he said, man, it's crazy because it just dawned on me that, like, this is it.
This is the last run.
Last ride. Like, and I said, yeah, let's do it.
Draymond Green and Baron Davis on the Draymond Green Show, which is a great listen as always. But Draymond alluded to it. Steph's like, okay, now we got a shot. It's me, it's you, referring to Draymond, and it's Jimmy. We got the experience. Let's roll. And in the words of Steve Kerr, now I will say, and we can play the footage from where I was at, obviously being here in Orlando for the Disney College program, I was actually at the Warriors Magic game on Thursday, and we can call February 27th Steph Curry Day. Oh, what a show. 56 dropped on the Orlando Magic, including this bomb from half court. This is from my vantage point sitting in the Kia Center, and bang, in the words of Mike Breen, Steph swishes it from half court, ends up scoring 56, goes crazy in the third quarter, and Steph does Steph things. This was after that moment. Because, again, I want to re-emphasize this point. All Steph Curry wanted was a shot. Steph Curry, I think he's the type of dude that lives his life the way that he shoots the basketball. Just give me an inch of space. That's all I need. That's all I need to be successful. Steve Kerr, after the Warriors went over the Magic, and Steph Curry with one of the greatest games he's ever played, scoring 56, talking about Steph playing big, meaningful basketball games.
Steph just wants to play meaningful basketball, and you can see we're now in the fight. We're in the mix, and this is what Steph loves. He's, as great of a player and shooter he is, his competitiveness is probably his most underrated quality, and he was dying to be back in the mix, and we're back in the mix, and you can tell he's energized by that.
Simple as that. Steph's like, just give me a shot to contend. That's all I need. Maybe we'll win it, maybe we don't, but just show that you still believe that I can do it. And the Warriors, be it out of pure desperation in that they gave Jimmy the contract that they gave him after the KD trade slipped through, well, not really slipped through their fingers. KD didn't want to be traded midseason. He clarified that on Draymond's podcast last week. But you are seeing a different Steph Curry, and the numbers back it up as much as they possibly can. We could show you the numbers right now. Steph before the Jimmy trade, Steph after the trade. He's averaging 8 more points per game. He went from dropping. Steph was a 22-6-4 player to now he's a 36-4 player, which essentially reflects his numbers over the course of his career. Shooting percentage, again, Steph Curry, the 6'3 guard, 6'3 perimeter player, is shooting 51% from the field. Since Jimmy Butler played his first game as a Warrior, that's up from 43%. He went from shooting essentially 39% from three to shooting 42% from three. Keep in mind, by the way, in that 56-point game against the Magic, he took 19 three-pointers, and he made 12 of them. He's shooting 42%. Free throw percentage has gone down, but 94-90, tomato, he's still automatic. He's the greatest shooter / free throw shooter that we've ever seen in our lives in the history of the game. Give Steph Curry a shot. Give him an opportunity. We saw it in the Olympics against Serbia. We saw it late against France. Man, when you need him most, you can count on number 30. Or in the case of Team USA, number 4, I guess, to come through for you late. This team's a significantly better defensive team. This is a team with, I think, the third best coach in basketball, Spoelstra, Ty Lue, Kerr. That's my list. Although Kenny Atkinson, J.J. Redick are certainly moving up, and Bickerstaff, by the way, what they're doing this season. And you've got a Draymond Green who is battle-tested as anybody, is not scared of anything. Still elite defensively, still can give you what he can give you getting Steph involved offensively. Jimmy, I don't know, playoff Jimmy, last 2 postseasons, he's averaged 27 points per game. I'll take that on my team any day of the week. And then, of course, the baddest man, I'll continue to say it, the baddest man in the game of basketball today. Reports of the great Steph Curry's demise were greatly exaggerated. The Golden State Warriors, I will repeat it again, are going to win the NBA championship in 2025. True to my take then, if we had an all-star, I'll buy in, and certainly true to what my eyeballs are telling me right now, not just with the team and how they're playing, but how the main catalyst, what he's producing now that he's got a shot to do it. The Warriors will be your 2025 NBA champions. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube, and be sure to go click that big red subscribe button and check out the other clips and full shows from Carving It Up Live, as well as our other incredible content creators here on the Grid Network.